Hey guys, Saintsfan back again, and welcome to another GTA 5 video. Today what we're going to be talking about is the GTA 5 Tuners and Outlaws update. This is the biggest and most wanted GTA DLC concept that has ever been made. At this moment, on the Petition page, which I'll link in the description, it has 37,000 signatures, and to put that in perspective, the Biker DLC only has 18,000 at this moment. In addition to that, the trailer, which I will also link in the description, from GTA Wise Guy, this dude put a lot of effort, a lot of work into that trailer. It's absolutely incredible. It has over 1 million views. So this DLC concept is by far the most wanted and the most talked about DLC concept, I think, that has ever been made for GTA Online. And in this video, what I want to do is share it with you guys, share some details of it, and just let you guys know about it. I mean, I know there's been a lot of other people who have made videos, but the way I see it, the more people who do see this, the more people who would know about this DLC concept. If you are one of those people who want to see this happen to GTA Online or in GTA Online, then the more the better, basically, because more people that see it, the more people that like, the more people that share, the more people that sign the petition, and the more likely that Rockstar may be added into the game. Now, the one downside, before we got to keep our expectations realistic, so the one downside to this DLC concept that makes it different from the Biker DLC is that the Biker DLC stuff, it appeared, at least according to some stuff in the game files, some lines of coding and some things that FunMW2 found, Rockstar were working on a Biker DLC long before the Biker Petition came out. Now, the same actually could be said for this a little bit, because in the beta stage of GTA Online, you could play as a cop, and there were some aspects of this DLC. But for the most part, the ideas in this concept have not been found in the game files, and there's no mention of them anywhere that says Rockstar has been working on this or has worked on them at one point. But with all that out the way, if you do like this idea, you like the trailer, which again, all that stuff will be linked in the description. Go check out, go follow, go subscribe to GTA Wise Guy, because that trailer, when I saw it, I mean, there's a reason people were mistaking it for a real trailer, because if you showed me that and you didn't tell me it was fan-made, I would not believe you that it wasn't straight from Rockstar. So all that stuff in the description. Go sign the petition. I already did it. Maybe we can get it to 50,000 signatures. That'd be awesome. But anyway, the details for this DLC. The reason why I am such a fan of this concept is because it includes some of the stuff I've been asking for and petitioning for since GTA Online has first came out. Being a police officer, having car meets that are in free mode, but are also like where everyone's in passive mode, so jet griefers or other griefers can't kill you. Having a bunch of new customization for cars that are either in the game or added to the game. And the rap creator, which I think would be an absolutely amazing idea to GTA Online, where you make your own rap for your car and then you could upload it to the social club where other people can see it. That's just a few things in this DLC concept. So I'll start from the top and work our way through some of the details. I'm not going to go into too much detail. Again, if you want to see everything, you can read it all and check out the video that GTA Wise Guy made in the description. But for over 3 years since GTA Online, car enthusiasts have worked around the DNA of GTA Sandbox to create a community of like-minded tuners and street racers, despite the lack of any set-in-stone platform to do so. So this is where the Tuners and Outlaws steps in. You could argue that the cunning stunts was enough for the racing community, but there's actually a huge difference between the track racing scene and the underground street racing scene. At this moment, there's not much support for drifting, drag racing, and other stuff like that that you would associate with the underground street racing scene. So this DLC would start just like registering as a CEO/associate, VIP, or president/biker. You'll be able to register as a wheelman and recruit up to 3 other street racers in your little group, or you could be a police sergeant and recruit up to 7 constables. Now, starting with the police, so this DLC would introduce the ability to play as a police in GTA Online. Each player not registered as a police has a bounty. Now, this bounty works on a cycle and refreshes every 24 hours that starts to count down from the moment they first enter an online session. Now, this bounty will rise slowly over time for crimes such as speeding, damage to state and general criminal activity, whereas killing other players, destroying their property, and gaining wanted levels will increase your bounty significantly. This bounty will also decrease over time slowly if you're in an apartment or doing non-criminal activities. Now, collecting a bounty, if you are a policeman or a constable, you will be appearing off the radar to all of the players except for other officers. And you will also not be able to see any other player's blip, which, side note, is another thing I've been asking for forever. Now, to make sure you don't cheat and try and catch a criminal standing next to you, you'll respawn at the nearest cop station with a police uniform once you do become a policeman. But at this point, this is where you go out and try and catch these criminals. You try and catch them speeding, you try and catch them in an act of killing someone or robbing a store. And a really great idea is that any player committing a crime will appear on the minimap for a short period, similar to how the Beast blip appears in that free mode event. Also, if a player calls the police when they witness a crime, a large red circle will appear on the map around that area. Then once you find the guy, you can give chase to him. And I'm not going to go too into detail on the chasing mechanics. Basically, you put your sirens on and you have to keep the guy in sight. Since there is no minimap blip, this actually gives the criminal the advantage because if he's a good driver, then he can get away easier. Although you do have access to helicopters where other players, maybe the other people in your group, can mark these criminals so they do appear on the minimap for a little bit of time. And in the end, once you do catch them, you have to arrest them. Now, in the trailer concept, there was a scene that showed a policeman shooting an EMP-looking weapon at a car, and that's another really cool feature. You'd have some new guns to the game, non-lethal guns, the EMP, a taser, perhaps, to stop other players. So I like all those ideas so far. Now, for the criminal, if you want to evade the police, obviously you do that by just being a good driver. Once you do evade them, you have to wait a little bit to let the heat wear off, so to speak. But all in all, this police system, I really like the sound of it. Moving along in this DLC concept, the next topic are car meets. Now, car meets, as you all know, usually end in an explosion. I think there's only been 1 or 2 car meets I've ever done that everyone has walked away perfectly fine at the end of them. And the way to fix that would be having certain areas at nighttime to have these car meets. Maybe there would be a blip on the radar, like a area of effects sort of thing, where if you drive in, you don't have the ability to shoot people, like you have God mode or you have passive mode, something to... And one thing that I thought of would be pretty cool, just to let everyone in the session know about these events happening. Since they are happening at nighttime, there would be maybe randomly around the city. And he says that it would be awesome if there was NPCs there doing some ambient activities, NPC cars as well. That'd be really awesome in case maybe only a few people from the lobby showed up. It wouldn't feel as empty. But the way you could have these events happen, instead of just being random and you going around the city to find them, you could have someone text everyone. You know, Simeon texts everyone and says, if you pick up these cars, you can sell them for a profit. So maybe someone texts everyone in the lobby and says, hey, car meet here, come check it out, or come bring a car. I think that'd be a really nice idea. And if you're worrying about the police that we just talked about stopping these car meets, the only way they are allowed in that area that would be maybe on the minimap is if your disturbance meter, and he talks about that a little bit more in depth on the petition page, but if your disturbance meter gets to a certain point, then the cops can come in and, you know, like you've seen in Fast and Furious and those movies, you have to escape the cops or you're gonna, get arrested and go to jail, so to speak. And then he also mentioned during the day, there could be legitimized, registered car shows where you wouldn't have to worry about the police coming and showing up. Next up, a feature that he would want in this DLC is manual transmission, and that's not something that I would really care for, but a lot of people out there would want it, so it'd be nice to have. Now, since the stunt update brought a bunch of new stunt races, it would be awesome if this update brought a bunch of new street races. They could have drifting races, drag races, that'd be really awesome. Street races, which would be something like the premium races where you pay a certain amount of money, but instead of doing them on a track, you do them in free mode. So it would kind of be like glorified impromptu races. And I think that'd be really nice because you would have the traffic getting in your way, you'd have other people getting in your way, and that could be annoying, yes, but it would give you another activity that's fun in free mode. His next idea is to have contact missions from How. Now, How is a random event character in GTA single player who introduces Franklin to the Los Santos street races. So having him for this would be perfect in GTA Online. And they could do similar missions like they've done with Lamar and Benny's. They could do something like that with him. How in this DLC, there's really a ton of possibilities that Rockstar could do with that contact and with that idea. Now, last but not least, because this is probably the best part about this DLC, the new vehicles, the new customization, and the new tuning options. So the new vehicles, he actually has 12, but I'll only talk about the four main ones that he mentioned in the video. The two that are actually featured in the trailer that he custom made that fit with the GTA 5 lore, they're not a real car from real life. They're a car that's, taking a bunch of parts from other cars like Rockstar do with their vehicles. But the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo iX, otherwise known as the Miyabatsu, I probably botched that name, but forgive me, Revolution SG-RX, and the RWB Porsche 911, aka the Pifster Rough Weld Comet. Those two that he made look absolutely incredible, and yeah, they would make a perfect addition to GTA Online. And the other two are the Nissan Skyline GTR R34 or the Annis LG RH2, and the Toyota Supra Mark IV, aka the Karen Meanderer. Those are the four that he specifically said he would like the most in the DLC. If you want to check out the other vehicles he talks about, again, links are all in the description. But having those new vehicles would not be anything without the new customization and tuning options. And I guess you'd either do this in Benny's, or maybe I think he says there could be a new shop, maybe like the workshop in the biker's garage. Maybe they make a bigger version of that fits cars. Regardless of where you do it though, so the new customization, this would basically just be similar to the Banshee 900R and the Sultan RS customization. Have these new vehicles have the same amount of customization that those have. It has been almost a year since those vehicles have come out, and I'm really shocked that we haven't had any more vehicles that have had the level of customization those had. In addition to that, the wrap creator, which I mentioned at the beginning, would be something that I don't think anybody would have a problem with. You would have the ability to place shapes, decals, and text around a 2048 by 2048 texture space from a library of content, and then you'd be able to paste it onto a car. These wraps could be uploaded to a social club and downloaded by other players, similar to how custom jobs/races work. And then verified wraps could also appear while customizing your car, making a great opportunity for Rockstar to host competitions, to engage with fans over social media, and have their wraps available to everyone. There's a bit more in the customization department that he goes into, a little bit more specific stuff such as wheel offset, wheel width, track width, tire profiles, and you can check that out again in the description. I feel like a broken record, I keep saying that, but the main part, or the newest part that I want to talk about, is the tuning option. So in addition to the customization, the tuning would be very different. And at the moment, GTA Online's tuning is very limited. For the most part, the cars you buy in their categories are only good to the cars in their categories. For instance, a sports car is never going to beat a top-of-the-line supercar. And that makes sense to an extent, but in real life, it doesn't matter what car you own. It matters what's under the hood. Like some crappy beat-up car with an incredible engine could beat, a fast sports car or supercar. And I really like this idea because it adds some freshness to GTA. The downside to this would be actual racing, going back to like track racing, because if you have a sports car in the sports category, yet it can be just as good as the, top of the line supercar, then the classes become irrelevant at that point, and I don't know how you would deal with that. But looking past that, the idea with this tuning would be to make most of what you got and optimize performance dependent on whatever you're using it for. You should be able to tune your cars to super high horsepower numbers and even make them capable of outclassing the best supers with enough skill and cash. And I guess I actually did not read this paragraph when I first went over this, because he actually talks about what I just mentioned. He says tuning a car to outclass these supercars would present the problem of what class do you put them in. And I guess that's why he says he believes that when you tune your vehicle, it should automatically put it into the tuner class. And this would be available for every car and open the window to multi-class races, something that a lot of people have been asking for. Another part of tuning your car to make it more interesting and unique between each player, there would be an element of progression. To get certain car parts, you'd have to attend car meets. You'd have to win races, drag races, street races, any of the races, the drift races. And for each, specific little thing, you'd get a specific part. And that may be a little bit too in-depth for most of the people in GTA Online, but I like that idea because it gives you something to work towards, especially for people that have nothing to work towards because they're over level 120. So there you guys have it. I know this might have been a long video, but there's just so much that GTA Wise Guy included in this DLC concept. It is by far, like I mentioned, the most wanted by me and even people out there in the community. So if you would like to see this DLC come true, drop a video and like, share this video, share his video, drop a like on his video, go support the petition, go sign it, tweet it at Rockstar. Now, I always have to disclaim this at the end, but if this doesn't happen, like this DLC or this petition could get 1 million signatures, and that doesn't guarantee Rockstar are gonna make this DLC. All I want to do with this video, and all I'm sure he wants to do with this concept, is get Rockstar aware of the concept, and maybe we'll get some of this stuff in the game eventually, because it seems like they're not going to stop releasing DLC, so maybe they could put this on their board and start working on it for next year. Anyway, that is it with the video. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a great Saturday. See you all in the next one. As always, it's your boy Saintsfan. I'm out. Peace.